Sometimes in our lives, we have the opportunity to face some truths and become more aware. We then have a choice, to change or to continue making the same mistakes, but now with the knowledge of the truth. Today's video is one of those situations. But before we continue, I want to thank everyone who follows our work, because all of this is only possible thanks to each of you who like, comment, and share our videos. It is a great pleasure to be part of this community. That said, let's face these truths. Truth number 1, it is impossible for everyone to like you. If you think otherwise, believe it, or do everything to please, you are undoubtedly setting yourself up for frustration. This is a truth you have likely heard before, but my question is, how many times have you really taken it seriously? We don't just face criticism and judgment in the microclimate of social media, but everywhere we live, at work, in our family, in college, there will always be people who don't know us well, pointing fingers or speaking ill of us. What we often don't realize is that we are social beings. We have survived for thousands and thousands of years because of our ability to create communities, as we biologically depend on each other to survive, live well, and thrive. Today, with social media, many people feel entitled to have an opinion about our lives. It seems that everyone has an opinion about what you should do, what dreams you can achieve, what suits you best, or how to make your projects work. And these opinions almost always do not take into account what you have already done, the effort you make every day, or your worth. When your well-being or confidence depends on this acceptance, it leads to a continuous and endless path of frustration. The people around you often do not offer constructive criticism about your life but impose their own views on what they think you cannot or should not do. But think carefully, in 150 years, nothing we live through now will be relevant and nothing will matter because none of us will be alive. So why live our lives based on the opinions of people who are not important to us? We cannot emotionally depend on what others think of us. It is impossible to please everyone, and trying to do so is a certain recipe for frustration. After understanding this, it is crucial to process the information differently. We often act to please others, and in doing so, we condition our actions and behaviors to these judgments. I am not saying we should completely ignore social conventions, like leaving social media or walking down the street naked just because we want to. But it is essential to understand that our lives are often excessively conditioned by others' opinions, which can be deeply harmful. Sometimes we trade our authenticity for an extra comment or like. Truth number 2, psychological egocentrism. Psychological egocentrism refers to our tendency to seek approval from others. Let's break it down a bit. We are naturally focused on ourselves and usually care more about what happens to us than to others. In other words, when the same situation happens to someone else, we might see it as something they can overcome. But when it happens in our own lives, it feels like an insurmountable drama. This is true in both science and biology, illustrated by a well-known phenomenon called the cocktail party effect. Imagine you're at a party, having a good time, and suddenly someone mentions your name. The mere mention of your name immediately catches your attention. This phenomenon shows just how egocentric we are and how this influences our perception of social interactions. Many of our fears are born, grow, and become mental monsters because we worry about how we will be perceived by others. When we fear public speaking, often the anxiety comes from worrying about others' judgments, especially if we hesitate or stutter. But the truth is, even if that happens, it doesn't impact others as much as we imagine. People are more focused on their own lives. Understanding that people are more focused on their own lives than on whether you perform the right exercise at the gym, have a new car, or speak well in a meeting is liberating. It means you can free yourself from excessive concern about others' opinions. You are not the center of the universe for others, just as they are not for you. Think about it. Do you remember your great-grandfather's name? Or his brother's name? Probably not, and in 150 years, few will remember you. This shows how fleeting our concerns about what others think really are. So, why worry so much about others' opinions when, ultimately, their views will have little long-term impact? Focus on the people who truly matter, those who will miss you when you are no longer here. By understanding this, you can begin to free yourself from many unnecessary worries. It is liberating to reduce the importance of others' opinions in our lives. This allows you to be who you are, with more authenticity and less fear of being judged. What I'm trying to explain is a fundamental truth: you should only care about the opinions of people who truly care about you. And yet, there is a subtle difference between caring about and depending on them. Think about the people who would miss you if you left this world, those who would be genuinely saddened. Do you remember all the people who have passed away? Probably not, because we naturally care more about those present in our lives. So why worry so much about what others think? Consider this example: when you're in a bar watching people, many of them are engrossed in their phones, just waiting for their turn to talk. Most people don't really listen to others because everyone is concerned with being the protagonist of their own lives. This is the reality: no one is as invested in what you do as much as you think. Knowing this encourages you to stop missing out on opportunities because of unfounded worries about what others think. These concerns are unnecessary and do not contribute to your well-being or personal growth. Understand this and start living a fuller, more authentic life by focusing on who truly matters. Truth number 3: learn to prioritize what matters most. When you start paying more attention to what is truly important in your life, you'll realize that our brains have an incredible capacity to protect us. However, they can also cause us to feel one of the worst pains there is: regret. Our brains are highly adaptable, which is particularly helpful during tough times when you might feel overwhelmed and think, "This is too much, I don't know if I can do this." It's your mind, your spirit, and your determination that really help you keep going. You've sought and received help, and you've learned to understand how your brain works, adapting to difficult situations to keep moving forward. But there's an important point to remember: your brain also deals with the important things in your life, and sometimes you might not realize how crucial they are. One day, when those things are no longer present, you might feel the worst pain: regret. This regret could be from not showing affection to your parents when you had the chance, not hugging a friend, or not telling someone how much you love them. Our brains adapt to both positive and negative experiences. This adaptability helps us deal with pain, anguish, and suffering without becoming overwhelmed. For example, we often forget moments that caused us a lot of pain. Over time, those ugly and difficult memories fade from our minds because we need to move on with our lives. This capacity of our brains is incredible, but it can also make us lose sight of what really matters. For example, we often want something like a car, and when we finally get it, the joy is immense. But as we get used to the car and new problems or challenges arise, that initial joy fades. This happens because our brains quickly adapt to that happiness, and soon new challenges appear. One of the greatest pains we can feel is the regret of not having done or said something important to the people we love. I bring this up so you can see how our brains often ignore what is truly important. We end up worrying about people who are not essential to us, and sometimes even about people who don't like us, neglecting those who really matter. Without realizing it, our brains adapt, and we stop valuing those who truly deserve our attention. This truth is for you to do something simple after watching this video. Take your phone and send a message to someone you really care about. Let's prevent habit from making us forget to express our feelings and ending up regretting it later. If you can appreciate someone, join our Stoicist journey at Buy Me a Coffee. Support with a donation or as a member and have a voice in our community. Every coffee fuels our mission to share wisdom. Be our pillar, make a difference today in your life and say, "I love you," then go ahead. Before we continue, I have a request. Could you like this video and leave a comment? Making our video noticed can be difficult, so I need your help. It only takes 2 clicks. If you want to help even more, just share this video with a friend who needs it. Also, comment on what topics you'd like to see here. Truth number 4, overcome resistance. There's a saying that goes, "You only live once," popularized by a song. However, the Stoic view offers a different perspective. it's not that you only live once, but that you only die once. You live every day. This thought is somewhat philosophical but very interesting to consider. Many people don't realize if they're truly taking control of their own lives. Often, they act as passengers, living passively as if they're in an Uber, just going wherever life takes them without taking any control. You might say, I have to go there, take me, but many people go through life without really driving their own car. Without precisely defining their own destination, they don't realize they're stuck in the same place, trapped by the fear of the unknown or of rejection. Feeling safe can be the worst thing you can feel when you're not moving forward. One of my favorite books that talks about this is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, which discusses resistance. If you don't face resistance to doing something, you're probably not growing. If nothing is bothering you or causing discomfort, you're stuck in your comfort zone and likely regressing. There's no maintaining a level when we're stationary, you're either evolving or regressing. How many times have you postponed something for tomorrow? How many times, even knowing what you needed to do, did you say, I'll start on Monday? Today is already Tuesday, the week goes by quickly. Oh, but Friday won't do, and Saturday and Sunday even less so. I'll start on Monday. And then you never start. We have a video about procrastination on the channel that you can watch later and read the comments about how helpful it is. And you might think, I'll watch it tomorrow, even knowing that continuing to postpone things is a problem for you. Often this can seem like an excuse, but it can be a painful truth. People tend to leave everything for later. I know what I need to do, but it's better to start tomorrow. I know how to improve my life, but it's scary, so I'd rather stay as I am. I'd rather have someone else make decisions for me because if something goes wrong, I have someone to blame. But remember, you only die once, but you live every day. We can overcome our limits. I'm not just talking about positive thinking but about truly acting. If you know how to improve, if you need a promotion, if there's a course you need to take, if you can make your house cleaner and more organized, improve your relationships, why not start now? Don't wait to be a better person tomorrow if you can start today, and that step can be now. Truth number 5, nothing is as costly as ignorance. One of the most important truths in this video is that nothing is more costly than our own ignorance. We bear the cost when we don't open ourselves up to learning. When we choose to maintain an arrogant stance of false certainties about everything in life, it can be detrimental. Here's an easy example to understand. Have you ever experienced heartbreak or faced a relationship problem? It's highly likely that after these experiences, you changed how you approach romantic relationships. Now, you probably wouldn't make the same mistakes because you've gained experience and knowledge, even if learning that was painful. This learning process is similar to what happens in other areas of life. When we face challenges and learn from them, we grow. The difference between who you are today and who you want to become is knowledge. When you realize that moving from state A to state B requires knowledge that you don't yet have, you become motivated to study what you truly enjoy learning. This step is crucial for driving your progress and helping you achieve your goals. Think about successful people in any field. All of them study how to be better, investing their time and dedicating themselves to self-improvement. They know more about the subject because they have committed to learning and enhancing their skills. Nothing is as costly as our own ignorance. Even if you don't know exactly which path to follow, studying is always beneficial. Open your mind and explore various fields, learn about different cultures, languages, and anything else that interests you. Ignorance is costly in love and in every other aspect of our lives. Sometimes people confuse knowledge with experience, but it's important to recognize that experience can teach us a lot. Be open to learning from those who have experience and knowledge. Don't let ignorance hold you back. Always seek to learn more. Truth number 6, not everything you feel should be taken seriously. This is a common truth. When you feel extremely happy, it's as if the world is celebrating, the grass looks greener, the birds sing more beautifully, and the sun shines brighter. Everything seems amazing. Conversely, when you are sad or angry, the day is dreadful, the world seems worthless, and everyone around you appears to be in a bad mood. But in reality, the world remains the same. It is your emotions that distort how you perceive the world. The world is unchanged, it's your perception that has shifted. It's crucial to understand that our emotions can alter our perception and that what we feel does not always reflect reality. Often, our emotions distort reality to the point where it ends up harming or hurting us. The Stoics have a saying, never say or do anything that will take you out of the game. But what does this really mean? Game doesn't refer literally to a game but to life situations. It's like scoring an own goal. An example of this is in a romantic relationship, where emotions can be so intense that they distort reality, causing you to say or do something that leads to a breakup. Not all the emotions you experience should be taken seriously, and not all the perspectives you have at a given moment are correct. It's necessary to learn to control these emotions. Remember what the Stoics say, when you're emotional, whether positively or negatively, never say or do anything that will take you out of the game. This is especially important to avoid losing friendships, relationships, or causing discord in social circles because you can't control your emotions. You need to learn to calm down, to recognize emotions, and transform them into feelings. How can you convert an emotion into a feeling? When you realize you are being emotional, whether very happy or upset, stop and reflect on why. There are various exercises, such as paying attention to your breathing or drinking water, that can help you slow down your emotions. After that, consider whether the emotions you're feeling should be taken seriously and remember that the world does not revolve solely around your emotions. Truth number 7, your choices define your life. The final truth is something I saved for the end because starting the video with it might have caused some intense reactions. Even though not everyone who clicks on the video will make it to the end, this truth is reserved for those who support the process. Therefore, I invite you to share your opinion if this video has made you reflect in any way. So, what is the truth that follows? If your choices are mediocre, it is inevitable that your life will be mediocre as well. I am not talking about mediocrity in terms of results or material achievements. Today, we often mistakenly associate mediocrity with not having the latest car, the house, or luxurious clothes. Mediocrity is not defined solely by material results or tangible goods. It is also present in the lack of values. You probably know people who are willing to step on others to achieve their goals, people who will do anything to get what they want. These people are mediocre. And such people can be found in all aspects of life. They can be your boss at work, a relative, a friend, or even in relationships. Life is meant to be valued, and to value it, we must have values. This is the ultimate goal of a Stoic and an idea I try to convey in my videos, sometimes explicitly as now, and other times more subtly through stories and examples of exercises. It is always better to delay success than to compromise your values. Why? Because mediocrity is essentially a lack of values. If you surround yourself with mediocre people, who are willing to ignore rules and step on others to achieve their goals, it is likely that your life will also be mediocre. True happiness lies in being true to yourself. Some words in our videos may cause discomfort, but as a channel dedicated to teaching Stoic practices and personal development, it is our responsibility to challenge your thinking and encourage you to consider new perspectives. This is the purpose of this channel, that we can learn to question our beliefs, re-educate ourselves, and have the moral strength to transform our lives. If you've made it this far, comment on which truth resonates with you the most. Also, take a moment to share this video with a friend who needs it. Thank you for watching.